Take a deep breath and hold your heart. Today we tell you a story about a dictator who ate his enemy's flesh. He committed thousands of gruesome human rights abuses, torture, killings, and even cannibalism. And he is responsible for the deaths of 500,000 people. His name is Idi Amin Dada Oumee. He was a military officer and a politician who served as third president of Uganda from 1971 to 1979. He was a military dictator and is considered one of the brutal dictators in modern world history. Abandoned by his father at the young age, Idi Amin grew up with his mother's family in a rural farming town in northwestern Uganda. At the age of 20, he got a job as a heat and coke man in a hotel. His height was 6.4 feet and soon he got a job in British Army in 1946 in Uganda. Uganda was a British colony since 1894. He has little to no education, which made him perfect to follow the orders. He was promoted to 21st King's African Rifle Corps and was transferred to Somali, where he earned the name of most cruel, violent soldier alive. In 1951, he became Uganda heavyweight boxing champion and held the title for almost a decade. He was famous for crushing the opponent in a single blow. But his passion was still the army. In 1952, he became an officer and was sent to Kenya to curb the Mau Mau rebellion. His kill count and shooting speed was impressive to all his superiors. In 1959, he was placed on Kenyan borders, which was threatened by Kenyan Turkana nomads. Amin shot many warriors and left them in the wild for hyenas to feed on. He even cut the private organs of them to crush the rebellion. He was praised for bringing the peace in the region. In 1962, Uganda got its independence, and in 1963, Amin was court-martialed for murdering 14 Turkana men. But President Milton Obote cleared his charges and made him deputy commander of Ugandan Army. In 1967, he got a doctorate degree in English. President Obote made him supreme in command over army. His style was to torture and kill anyone who appeared remotely rebellious. In 1970, Amin killed his arch enemy Brigadier Okoya and his wife. Okoya accused him for attempting to kill President Obote. President Obote fired Amin, so he organized a coup d'etat and seized his government on January 25, 1971. He promised the people to bring back the democracy to Uganda. He purged all the men who belonged to the enemy tribe. He killed soldiers, civilian women and children who supported the previous government. Their mutilated bodies left to the street as a threat to remaining enemies. He visited the London and met Queen Elizabeth too. When Queen asked him why you visited UK, he laughed in her face and said it is hard to find size 14 shoes in Uganda. He made 50,000 Indians to leave the country in 7 days, who were brought by the British Army to build the railway system in Uganda. All the immigrants fled the country, leaving behind their shops and businesses. Amin said to the people who ran to the shop first, that would be allocated to you. And it destroyed the country's economy and supply chain stopped. There was no sugar, butter or salt in the country for years. People who stole to survive the starvation of his family was executed publicly. He had 43 children and 6 wives. He divorced the 4 wives and killed the last 2. He delivered a bag to Magligo Hospital with his wife's body cut into pieces. He kept many people to prison, tortured them and beaten to death with sledgehammer. He tried to conquer Tanzania in 1978 and he failed the attempt. In 1979, Tanzania invaded Uganda and Amin fled to the Saudi Arabia and lived there for 2 decades. He suffered kidney failure and fell into coma and died on 16 August 2003. Idi Amin Dada Oumee is responsible for the deaths of 500,000 people. He remains the one of the evil dictator in the history. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like this video.